Lieutenant Joe Kenda. First, the victim of a deadly roadside assault goes missing.
He wasn't moving at all. A lot of blood.
Well, this is different. We have a crime scene with no victim.
Does this guy died? We need to find out where he's at.
Then, when a toddler is abducted from her mother's home, it's all hands on deck.
A kidnapping is a priority 1 call for service.
Time is crucial.
We knew that Monique's life was in danger.
Everyone feels the need to protect a child. Policemen are no different.
How dare you!
Who is more helpless than a child? Revenge is a very powerful motive for things, but it rarely goes the way the plan says it should. Your life will get turned upside down by somebody just like me until we get to the truth.
There's one thing that never changes: murder. A life has been taken. Their stories are now my stories. I never know where a case is going to lead, but I'll never stop until it's solved. Somebody has to look out for the victim. If you kill, I will find you.
It's a warm summer evening, and Gary Poole is managing the store alone.
Hey,
Have a great day. Appreciate it.
I remember I had just come to work for the evening shift. I remember it being very quiet.
Are you finding everything okay?
Yes, sir. I'm just looking right now.
And then all of a sudden, someone started shooting. This guy comes running in the door and runs back and hides in the storeroom.
Where you at, man, huh?
And then the young African-American gentleman came in the front door with the gun.
Come on and fight me like a real man.
Across town, Kenda is at home, enjoying a rare indulgence.
In most people's worlds, the weekend is the time to have a few drinks, but there is no weekend in the police business. It's every day's the same. So I would not drink very often because I was always on call. But every once in a while, I just feel like, let's have a drink.
It's Kenda.
And it's a comm center calling to report there's been a shooting. No time to relax. It's time to go to work. This particular convenience store was in a rougher part of town and was kind of known for having problems.
Okay. All right. That's right. Hey, Lieutenant. Well, we got a weird one. Store clerk says that he hears gunshots, and then a guy bursts in carrying a gun, takes a look around, turns around and walks right back out. The clerk also says we have a victim with a serious injury.
What kind of injury? How serious?
Well, that's the trick. We don't have a victim.
This is kind of a bizarre situation. This is a first-degree assault. Has this guy died? We don't know.
By the time our guys got here, that guy's already gone.
No kidding.
Well, this is different. We have a crime scene with no victim. You don't see that every day.
Did you find anything in here?
Not a lot, really.
Looking around the store, there's not much to see. There's no blood, nothing out of the ordinary, just a few random items that seem to have been knocked over onto the floor by someone.
Let's go talk to the witness.
He's waiting outside.
He's right down here.
So we get in contact with Gary Poole, the clerk.
So you were working when the incident occurred?
Yeah, I was working inside. It was pretty quiet.
Mr. Poole reports that an individual ran into the store and hid in the storeroom. Seconds later, and looking for this individual, couldn't find him, and left.
And about a minute after he was gone, a third person comes in. She was looking for the first guy that came in.
Mark, where are you? Mark!
Amy!
Mark!
Tammy, I'm back here. It's Tammy.
Oh, come on.
God, are you okay?
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Let's
Come
go, let's go.
on. Eric's been hit in the head with a rock. We gotta go.
God.
Wait, she said he was hit with a rock, not a bullet?
No, it was definitely a rock. Your friend looks bad.
He'll be okay.
No, he needs to go to the hospital.
I remember talking to her, and I said, well, if he's injured, you need to stay. And she said, no, we need to go. And they got in the car, all three of them, backed up and drove away.
Did they say why they had to leave?
No, but he looked bad. He wasn't moving at all. A lot of blood.
Head wounds, they're serious. We need to find out where he's at and what his condition is.
Did you happen to see the license plate number?
No, I'm sorry. Everything happened so fast, I didn't catch it. All I can tell you was it was a gray car.
We put that information out, and officers all over the city, if they see a gray car, they try to look at the occupants. But the odds of them finding that gray car are infinitesimally small.
Can you show us where this gray car was?
Yeah, absolutely. It's this way.
We need to examine that area to see if there's any physical evidence that might lead to the identity of our victim or to the identity of our suspects.
It was over here. Right here. Oh, come on. You've got to be kidding me. They knocked out both of my windows.
His personal vehicle is parked in front of the store, and he becomes incensed when he realizes that two of his windows are broken.
I hate this neighborhood.
I'm sorry about your car. Will you excuse us for a minute?
Yeah.
Hey, sir, will you come with me?
These look shot out to you?
Sure does.
One round passed through those windows horizontally, which means it's level when it's fired, so they're not shooting at windows, they're shooting at a person. There was automotive glass on the ground. There was no blood, no expended casings from a gun in that area of where that car was. There were a couple of landscaping rocks laying where the gray car was. They probably bounced off the car itself.
The stones they use for landscaping are from our many rivers, and sometimes they can weigh up to 2, 3, 4 pounds.
These are substantial rocks. If someone hits you in the head with one of these rocks, you are going to be seriously hurt or even dead.
You have some additional information on the gray car that the blowout on. We now know that it's missing a window and has possible dent damage.
We now have a little more uniqueness of a gray car. So the new information is relayed so that officers can be looking for it.
Around 1 a.m., a pair of patrol officers come across a vehicle that matches the description.
Hey, is that your car?
Oh, no, not mine.
The rear window's completely gone. There's blood on the back seat near the headrest and the top cushion, and there are dents of a large nature on the trunk lid and the sides of the car.
Belongs to my friend Tammy Filcher. She lives up here. What's your name? Mark Sullivan?
There's always people that say there are coincidences. There's not coincidences, there's evidence. Mr. Poole, the witness, said Mark is the fellow hiding. And a young female comes in and says, Mark, we gotta go. This girl is probably Tammy Felcher. Now we have a leg up on this.
What's with all the blood in the car?
Yeah, that's my friend Eric's blood. It's no big deal. He's fine.
Look, Mark, we think your friend Eric is hurt pretty bad. We need to get him some help. So I'm gonna need you to be honest with us.
Mark says, well, Eric was really drunk and he got hit in the head with a rock and he wasn't feeling good. So we dropped him off at his apartment.
He probably just needed to sleep it off.
Humans are very fragile. The human head is particularly fragile. 100 ways you can die from a blow to the head.
71. We need a wrecker, another unit, this location, please, and notify Lieutenant Kenda we've got his car.
So they call another car to stand by with Mark and the car itself. We have a location on Tammy, so they make contact and round her up, but we don't have Eric.
Also, advise Lieutenant Kenda we have an address for a welfare check.
They're on their way to go find him. It is a race. We were hopeful that when they find Eric, he's still with us and can explain what happened to him. But we're also aware that he might not be.
Police!
So we're investigating an assault that took place at a convenience store in the southeast part of the city, where both the suspects and victims have fled the scene. We now know where our probable victim is located, and we're responding to that address to find him and determine his condition.
Police! Eric, come to the door! You got anything in the window? Yeah, he's in there. Eric, call her on screen, please! Door's locked. He's not responding. Yeah, this is unlocked. Going in. Right behind you, brother. Eric!
It's a very dangerous thing for officers to do because you don't know if this guy's going to wake up and grab a gun thinking he's being burglarized.
Eric! He's hurt bad. Okay.
They realize that he's in grave condition. He's unresponsive, his eyes are rolled back in his head. They call for medical.
334. You start me an ambulance to my location. I've got a male with a pretty bad head wound.
Concussion produces swelling of the brain. Failure to seek medical assistance can result in someone's death very easily.
I got his wallet. He's got everything in here. He's got ID, contact information. How old is he? 21. Eric. Full name's Eric Doherty. Eric.
Eric was absolutely one of the most trustworthy men that I've known. I remember going over to visit him, and he's sitting there reading the Bible.
Eric arrived in Colorado Springs from Texas. He ended up getting a job distributing coupons. Not much of a job, but just to start out with.
Wasn't somebody that would put on false airs at all. If he had enough money to pay for what he needed, he was pretty happy.
While the victim, Eric Doherty, is rushed to the hospital, Kenda and Ritz head down to the police garage to examine the car that patrol officers impounded an hour earlier.
How you doing?
Evening, Lieutenant.
And looking at the car, it matches perfectly with what our witness pool said.
Well, the only place we found any blood was there in the back seat. Whoever was sitting back there took quite a shot.
There's blood in the seat, blood in the headrest, and other dents or other rocks that we found at the crime scene have hit that car and bounced off.
Did you find any rocks inside of the vehicle? We found one rock of significant size, but we've got another lab tech taking a closer look. What do you think? I think it's time for Mark and Tammy to start explaining all this. Yeah. All right, thank you.
So we talked to Mark.
Have a seat.
Coherent enough to carry on a conversation.
Why don't you tell us what happened tonight?
I don't know.
I always know when someone's lying to me, but what I need to know is why.
Your face is all messed up. It'll be a miracle if your friend survives the night. And all you got to say is, I don't know.
Hey, Eric's okay though, right?
No, he isn't okay.
This guy is so dense, he doesn't realize how serious this is.
Look, this kid chased me with a gun and they threw rocks at the car. I don't know why.
And you guys didn't do anything to provoke him?
No.
All right, stay put. We'll be back.
People don't threaten you with guns and rocks for no reason, but fine. We still have Tammy to talk to. Maybe she can be more cooperative.
Okay, Tammy, I'd like to start at the beginning. Why don't you walk us through what happened?
Well, it all started in front of a liquor store. Mark and Eric had gone into the store, and I had stayed out in the car.
Sure you don't want it?
Okay.
Hey, yo, girl.
What's up?
Trying to act like she can't hear me.
And while I was out there, these three guys on bicycles showed up, and they started harassing me.
What's up, beautiful? You need to smile more.
Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Hey, I got something that'll make you smile.
And then when Mark and Eric got back in the car, I told them everything that these guys had been saying, and Mark got really, really angry.
She said that Eric had to convince Mark that they should leave the parking lot before any trouble started. So they drove around for a couple of hours, but they eventually ran into that same group in front of the convenience store. Then Tammy says the rocks start hitting the car, and that's when Eric gets hit in the head.
And she told police that one of them was wearing gray shorts and he showed them a gun.
Then she says something we didn't know.
Eric was bleeding, and he asked Mark to call an ambulance. but we didn't think that'd be a good idea.
Tammy says, I told him, oh, Eric, you don't want an ambulance. They're really expensive. We'll just take you home. How helpful.
And what can you tell us about the guys that were throwing the rocks?
I don't know, I didn't really get a good look at them. I mean, they were young guys. 2 black guys, 1 white guy.
She doesn't know who they are, never seen them before.
There's just not much to work with here. I mean, at least we know where it occurred now. Maybe someone there saw something. Maybe.
We do have a general location. There's no indication they had a vehicle, so that's to our advantage. That shows us that maybe they live in that area, but that's still quite a lot of population there.
It's Kenda. Okay, thanks. What is it? The hospital. Eric Doherty passed away this afternoon.
Eric Doherty passed away as a result of a cranial bleed, so he was bleeding in the brain from the impact of the rock.
The case has now officially been elevated to a homicide, and it's all the more pressing to find someone who saw something.
You knock on a lot of doors, you drive through the neighborhood at all different hours, you spend some time looking and hoping to stumble across somebody. A lot of times you'll slip them a business card, sometimes that pays off.
Excuse me, Detective Ritz?
Yeah.
There's a call from John Allen on line 9 for you. He says he's got some information on the Doherty case.
Really?
Now you're starting to think, ooh, maybe we have somebody who's going to give us the information we need.
Thank you.
Okay. We're getting closer to our rock thrower. I can feel it.
Eric,
We're starting to inch forward in this investigation. Insider information on this case. So now the next step is to talk to him and see what he knows.
The witness is a young man named John Allen.
Lieutenant?
Around?
He's requested that detectives meet him in a remote back alley behind an abandoned shopping center.
John Allen's concern is that he is going to be discovered as being a police informant. So we agree that he will sit in the car with us and have a discussion.
So here's the deal. Me and some of my buddies, we're riding our bikes, and we get into it with some people at a liquor store.
John explains it all started when one of his friends began making unwanted advances toward a young woman.
John Allen goes on to explain, this guy comes over to them and begins to engage in verbal confrontation.
hey, y'all got a problem? You got a problem with something? Yeah, I got a problem. Why are you talking to her like that, huh? Talk to her about what, man? How about you mind your business? Mark, come on, get in the car. How about you make me, huh? Come on, this looks good, man. Let's get in the car, man. Come on. Wanna go? Oh, Mark, you're right. What's up? What about you, man? You want some? No, we're good. All right, then, get out of here. You're right. Let's go, man.
That's all I saw, I swear. I didn't even know about the fight at the convenience store until the next day when one of my guys told me.
According to John, the second fight was provoked by the occupants in the gray car.
So now it becomes obvious why Tammy and Mark are so reluctant to tell the truth. They want to engage these people in yet another confrontation, and they do, and they come out on the short end of it.
And these friends of yours, what are their names?
John Allen names the individuals. A.C. Anderson is 19 years of age, and the other kid's name is Marvin Knapp, but he's a minor.
I appreciate the information.
The following morning, detectives track down both A.C. Anderson and Marvin Knapp and bring them in for questioning. They start with 17-year-old Marvin.
His mother waives his rights. Our interest, of course, is who is the one who threw the rock that killed Eric Doherty.
Come on, Marvin. Was it you or one of your buddies?
I told you. I don't know. People were screaming. I don't know what happened.
Marvin, if you're trying to protect one of your friends, man, it's not gonna...
I'm not. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know who hit the dude.
Unable to get anywhere with Marvin, Kenda and Ritz turn their attention to A.C. Anderson.
Look, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I wasn't even there.
A.C. denies everything. He's never been in a convenience store in his life, never been anywhere near a liquor store, never hit anybody.
We know you're lying, AC.
We've got the names of everyone that was there. They've already painted a pretty clear picture about what happened.
Yeah, so what?
So we also know that somebody there was shooting a gun?
Okay, yeah, maybe I was there. But I was just shooting up in the air trying to scare those people.
Really?
The evidence at the scene says the shots were fired horizontally. You're shooting at somebody, AC. You're not shooting in the air.
I want you to take some time and think about all this a little bit more. Maybe need a little quiet time to reflect.
Come on. I mean, you got nothing on me. You can't keep me in here forever, man.
AC's not giving us anything. AC's got a bad attitude, which implies to me he might be responsible for throwing that fatal rock. But I have to be certain, and I'm just not there yet. I need something else.
The next day, Kenda gets the break he needs when the local DA's office receives an unexpected tip.
Let's see. A call came in from a witness who said, I understand you're looking for people who may have seen something. I happen to be walking the area and witnessed the entire thing.
So I understand you know who threw the rock that killed Eric Doherty?
I don't know the guy's name, but I can tell you what he looks like, if that might help.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
For starters, he was a black dude, and he was wearing gray shorts.
We quickly determine.
Stand up, Mr. Anderson. You're under arrest. Come on, stand up. Hands behind your back.
Even without a full confession, detectives are able to piece together what happened in the parking lot of the convenience store.
This is bullshit. Come on, Mark, just let it go, all right? They gotta be around here somewhere, okay? They were riding bikes. They couldn't have gotten far.
Mark, Tammy, and Eric are cruising the neighborhood looking for these people. They pull into a convenience store, and here they are, on their bikes, with the exception of John Allen.
Hot out here. Hey!
Yo, check this out.
Come here, little bitch. I'm not done with you.
The confrontation resumes, and this time it gets really ugly, really fast.
I see you came back for more, huh? Mark, get out. The fight looks good.
But AC and Marvin have other plans.
Let's go. Come on, let's do it. Really? Hey, let's put the rock down. Fight, huh?
Eric is in the back seat.
Come on.
He's not participating in this fight. He's the one that gets hit with a rock thrown by AC Anderson.
Are you okay? Eric,
Hey,
talk to me.
you're gonna pay for that.
Eric.
Whether they know or not how badly they hurt Eric,
Oh my God, man, what did you do?
they don't care. They're just young and immature.
You're gonna pay for that, man. Oh yeah? Hey, what you gonna do, huh? Hey, whoa. Hey,
AC fires a couple of shots outside, probably trying to shoot Mark, and he misses him, but he hits the clerk's car. Mark is now terrified and runs into the store and hides from AC Anderson.
Hey, man, where you at? Come on, fight me like a real man.
AC doesn't know where Mark went, but he realizes people are looking at him, and then he realizes he has a gun. He knows he has to get out of there before the police show up.
As AC Anderson and Marvin Knapp flee the scene, Eric Doherty begins to lose consciousness. He's in dire need of medical assistance he won't receive.
Instead of getting our friend help, Tammy and Mark dropped him at home to sleep it off, but he never woke up. There were a lot of bad decisions made that day.
As far as Marvin and AC go, both young men are indicted for their role in Eric's death.
Marvin ended up being charged with the menacing count.
But due to his young age, the charges against Marvin are eventually dropped.
When AC Anderson went to trial, he pled guilty to manslaughter, recklessly causing the death of another person. The judge sentenced him to 4 years in prison. Shortly into his sentence, AC receives what is known as judicial reconsideration. His sentence had been reduced to 5 years of supervised probation.
To those who knew Eric Doherty, the punishment pales in comparison to the young life that was taken far too soon.
This is an absolute tragedy that he was cut off. that young. You know, he had his whole life ahead of him. He probably would have been, you know, godfather to my daughter. One of the, you know, nicer people I've ever known.
You have a 21-year-old losing his life over what? Over a few crude remarks and a desire to seek revenge. Revenge is a very powerful motive for things, but it rarely goes the way the plan says it should.
Coming up, when a young girl goes missing, the entire department is put on high alert.
A kidnapping with a ransom demand is a priority 1 call for service. Everything stops.
Right now, we have 3 different caliber shell casings.
In homicide and major crimes, when a case is active and underway, we have lead meetings where all the detectives assigned are assembled in a room.
Our plan is to continue up the next 2 blocks.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. We got a situation. There's been a kidnapping. Unison Air responding. There's no suspect, but they're calling for us. All right, guys, you heard them. Let's go. Tip and check out those 2 blocks. I'll meet you guys up there.
That's about as serious as it gets. Lead meeting's over. We now have a new issue. Kidnapping with a ransom demand is a very rare crime. That's why the press still talks about the Lindbergh case, which happened in 1927. It is potentially enormously dangerous.
On scene, Kenda is brought up to speed by Officer Sal Fiorillo.
Afternoon, Lieutenant. So?
Well, this is the house of the kidnapped child's grandparents, Helen and Paula Inigo. Apparently, the child was abducted from the home of their daughter, Paula Inigo, who lives across town. But the grandmother's the one that called 911.
That is unusual. Why is the grandmother calling and not the mother? Is the mother in danger?
So we just sent some of our undercover team to do surveillance at the home of the mother. I'm going to change it, head over there. Hopefully we'll know more soon.
I worked undercover narcotics for 5 years. We're not going to go blazing in there without having sufficient information or intel information on who's in the house.
What do the grandparents say about all this?
Well, not much. So far, I've only got the address for the daughter and what the child looks like.
Let me talk to them, see what I can find out.
There's no time to sit down and think about this and analyze and agonize. It's go, 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 go.
Listen, I know this is extremely difficult, but I need information for you to help find your grandchild. Can you tell me your name?
Monique. She's 3 years old.
And how did you find out that Monique had been kidnapped?
Well, Paula phoned us.
Mom, I'm so scared.
Paula? What's wrong?
I don't know what to do. This guy took Monique.
What do you mean they took her?
This guy Dee's got her, and he's saying I need to give him all this money. I need your help.
They report that their daughter called them and said that someone by the name of Dee had kidnapped her child and demanded $5,000 for the child's safe return.
Do you have any idea who this Dee is?
No. All we know that Paula is very convinced that Dee will harm Monique. But she insisting on not calling the police.
Well, you did the right thing by contacting us.
If you are in a police-involved matter, like a kidnapping with a ransom demand, do not believe you can resolve this on your own because you cannot.
Can you tell me a little bit about Paula? Does she work?
She hasn't for some time. It's been a very tough time for her. She had some problems with drugs a while back, but she stopped.
And how do you know that?
Well, we talked it out together, and we believe her.
So in other words, they don't know that. We've checked Paula's criminal history to determine if there is one, and yes, there is, involving Schedule I controlled substances, which is cocaine.
And what about her personal life? Was she married?
She's divorced from a guy named Stephen Kessler.
Is that Monique's father?
Yes.
In the case of a family that's separated by whatever means, the first suspect in any situation like that is the missing mom or dad. Child custody matters can get very ugly.
Yeah, but Paula, ex-husband, didn't talk Monique.
How can you be so sure of that?
Well, she would have recognized her voice over the phone.
That still doesn't totally rule him out. You could have had someone working with him.
Tell the detective the real reason.
Steve is in jail.
So Mr. Kessler is instantly removed from the suspect list. He's making license plates. He's not kidnapping babies.
Kenda wonders, is there someone else close to Paula that might be involved?
That babies were being kidnapped and taken back across the border of Mexico because they could be sold for a substantial amount of money there. And so, is this a child that's been kidnapped to be used for other reasons?
Was she seen anyone recently?
She's living with a man named Amos Stone, but he seems very nice.
So there is another possibility. As a participant in this event is this boyfriend. What does he have to do with the disappearance of this child? Maybe nothing, maybe something.
I don't know what to do, Detective. If we had the $5,000 for the ransom, we'd give it to Paul in a sec, but we just don't have it.
Excuse me, Lieutenant. Officer Fiorello needs to speak with you. He's got some information and it seems urgent.
Excuse me for a moment.
Back at the stakeout, there's been an interesting development.
I see a car pull up, somebody get out, they go in, they spend some time in there.
Lieutenant Kenda, we got a car parked in front of Paula's house. The man has entered the home.
Did you run the plates?
Yeah, we're waiting on the results now.
Okay, I'll stand by.
We don't know who this person is, but it's certainly time to find out. Who is this dude and what's he doing there? We're investigating a report of a kidnapping with a ransom demand of a 3-year-old child. A very serious matter. We are trying to gather as much information as we can when we've determined that an unknown person has arrived at the mother's home.
Okay, Lieutenant, we got that info. The car belongs to one Elvin Peterson.
Now I'm curious, who is that person? Is that the kidnapper? Is that Dee?
We run the name through our record system by computers in our cars, and this person has an extensive criminal history. That's potentially very meaningful.
Okay, he's out of the house. He's heading toward this car.
Wait until he's out of sight of the house before we grab him.
Copy that. Unit 4, let's give him about a half a block and light him up. We're on our way.
We instruct those officers to stop the car when it's some distance away from the home, so that if there's anyone else in that house, they can't see the contact.
Step out of the car. Keep your hands where I can see them.
What's going on?
Turn and face the car.
What did I do?
You don't have any weapons?
No.
He is terrified and confused.
You Elvin Peterson?
Yeah.
Detective Fiorello, Colorado Springs Police Department. We need to know what you're doing at that house you just left.
Basically, he says he was there to visit Amos, the boyfriend who lives with Paula. Amos wasn't there, so he sat and had a conversation with Paula.
What do you know about Monique?
The little girl? I don't know.
Do you know where she is?
She wasn't in the house when I was there.
His story was believable. Elvin didn't know anything about this kidnapping. He was there to visit Amos and Paula.
Lieutenant, I don't think he's aware of the kidnapping.
Did he say if there's anyone else in the house besides Paula?
Negative, she's all alone.
No, she's there by herself. Perfect. Now it's time to get in.
Within minutes, Kenda arrives on the scene, ready to gain entry into the home. But it's a matter that needs to be approached with caution.
I'm so nervous.
It's gonna be okay.
We want Paula to open the door. We need somebody she would open the door for.
I don't know if this is a good idea. There's no telling how she's going to react when she sees you guys.
It's okay.
Paula's instruction to her parents were, do not call the police, and that's precisely what they did. So we anticipate that there's going to be some difficulty.
You got the money?
No, she's got us. Go and search the house.
Do you want to call the police? How dare you? How dare you?
Stay right here.
Paula immediately takes a swing at her mother, calls her names using obscenities. We have to restrain her with handcuffs because she wants to assault her mother.
House is clear.
Okay, good. Where's your boyfriend Amos? We need to talk to him.
He's not here. He's out trying to sell his car for the ransom money since my good-for-nothing parents couldn't help.
Is there any way to reach him?
He carries a pager.
Let's go ahead and page him, tell him to come home. Come on, Hunker.
If we take the handcuffs off, we don't think she's gonna beat up Mom anymore. So we ask her, Paula, of all the young mothers in this neighborhood, why is it you that Dee believes will pay $5,000 for the safe return of her child? What's going on?
I had some of Dee's drugs and the police took him.
So Paula is a user? She reveals that she had been keeping a drug supply in her house that belonged to Dee. And during a recent raid and arrest at her place, the police seized the drugs. Dee blamed her for the loss.
I couldn't make back the money and he took Monique and he's gonna hurt her if I don't get the ransom.
I'm beginning to have some major problems with Paula. My instincts tell me she's lying for teeth. I don't believe there is a Dee. I think it's just her. She needs money for dope, and when you're a user, you will do anything to get it. Nothing is off limits.
But Kenda isn't going to let on that he believes Paula is lying. At least not yet.
They still had a child missing. And so police keep going until that child is found.
Moments later, Paula's boyfriend Amos shows up.
What's going on? Paula, I thought we decided we weren't going to call the cops.
I didn't.
Amos, we need to talk to you. Just step in here.
We separate him from her, and he basically tells the same story that Helen, Paula's mother, told us as to what the facts are.
I was out trying to sell my car to get Monique back. I had a guy all ready to buy it, but I rushed home as soon as Paula paged me. Just go ahead and check that out. Click on where he lives, see if it's real. You got it. Look.
Lieutenant Kenda asked me to go with Amos to confirm his story. I accompany Amos to this location, and sure enough, Amos did make arrangements to sell his car.
So Amos is truthful. He is so concerned about Monique, he's willing to sell his car to pay the ransom for Paula. So Amos is out as being involved in this.
With Amos cleared, Kenda turns his attention back to Paula.
I'm gonna mess with her head until she tells me what I want to know. I want the truth. What I want is, where is Monique? And I'll do what I have to do to find the child.
Paul, I want you to come down to the station and look at a few mugshots, see if you recognize Dee. Is that all right?
I guess.
Let's go.
So we put her in a car and we drive her toward police headquarters. I want her to tell me what she's up to.
You know, Paul, I sure hope we find Monique soon. Right now, I have all my officers out there looking for her while innocent people are getting hurt.
I say to her, whose child is getting hit on a bicycle in an intersection because the policeman that was directing traffic went to look for Monique?
Come on, Paul. Please tell me where she is.
19 Yellowbird Drive.
Instead of Kenda, we've changed the plans.
This place is in a particularly dangerous neighborhood. It's certainly not a place where a 3-year-old should be. And I called for backup, and we're going to approach this apartment with caution.
That's right.
Yes, can I help you?
We're the CSPD. Do you have a young child inside?
Yeah, she's right here.
You mind if my officer steps in and talks to her?
Yeah, that's fine.
And there is Monique Kessler coloring in a color book. Looking just fine and happy and healthy, and we all breathed an enormous sigh of relief.
Hey, sweetie. It's a nice picture.
So how do you know Paula?
Met her about a week ago. I don't know her that well, but she came by and asked if I could watch Monique. She said she had something to do.
My thought was, yeah, she had to invent a kidnapping with a ransom demand, but I didn't say that. I said, okay, well, thank you very much. We then called the Department of Social Services to take physical and legal custody of Monique because Paula is going to jail. She can't take care for this child. never wants to tear a baby from its mother, but the safety of the child is paramount. We have no choice in the matter. What Paula did was to fuel her desire for drugs, and that is inexcusable. She has lost her privilege to parent this child.
Back at the station, Kenda reviews Paula's original arrest file.
We investigated the seizure of drugs that was made in her apartment. It was a minor amount of cocaine, normally found in the possession of a user.
To the best of our knowledge, Dee never existed. There was no kidnapping.
It's now clear that Paula concocted the entire kidnapping story simply to obtain money to feed her drug habit.
Paula, in her pea-sized brain, comes up with a plan to get money. What does she do? I know what I'll do. I'll take my kid over to that girl I met, and I'll just tell her to watch her for a little while. Next, the daughter says to the parents, you have to give me the money, $5,000.
But we don't have that kind of money.
When she realizes that there's no money coming from the parents, she confronts Amos and tells him this nonsense that some mysterious, nefarious drug dealer has taken his child away from her.
I need you to help me.
I'll find the money somehow.
Amos was also being extorted for money because Paula didn't care who she got it from. I need dope. And if Amos has to walk to work for the rest of his life, that's of no concern to me. The ultimate result of all this, she pled guilty to the original drug charges that were held against her, and the extortion count and child abuse account were dismissed, and she served time for the narcotics charge.
Paula was very lucky that Monique was not actually harmed. What could have been a really terrible situation, as much as it did harm others, maybe emotionally and personally, a child was found safe.
The district court judge awarded physical and legal custody of this 3-year-old girl to her grandparents, who she knew very well. The child remained out of Paula's hands and out of her custody, so she had to withdraw her application as Mother of the Year.